Let your body grow still. Let your breathing soften. And imagine yourself drifting across a quiet night sky, floating slowly through a warm, gentle breeze. Beneath you, the land spreads out like a great tapestry. Forests, rivers, coastlines, and sleepy towns glowing faintly under moonlight. This is America, calm, still, and reflective, resting before a great anniversary. 250 years, a quarter of a millennium since the moment a young nation declared that it wished to choose its own direction, its own voice, its own identity. As you settle deeper into comfort, imagine the year slowly turning, the number rising, the nation approaching 2026. 250 years since the Declaration of Independence. It is a moment that invites not celebration alone, but gentle reflection, like sitting with an old family photo album late at night. A moment to ask where the journey began, how far it has wandered, and where it hopes to go in the centuries ahead. Close your eyes and picture the world of 1776. Not the loud, dramatic version that history classes often describe, but a quiet one. A warm evening in early summer. The town of Philadelphia at dusk. Cobblestone streets cooling after a long day. A horse carriage rolling slowly past shuttered shop fronts. The glow of lanterns flickering in windows. A humid breeze carrying the faint scent of ink, wood, and warm bread. This is the soft backdrop to a world on the edge of transformation. In a dimly lit upstairs room, a group of thoughtful men sit together, writing, rewriting, debating, and gently arguing over words that would guide generations. They are tired, warm, and quietly determined. None of them know that their signatures will one day be etched into monuments and textbooks. None of them know that their ideas, imperfect and incomplete as they were, will shape a land far beyond anything they could imagine. In this room sits not the mythic founding fathers of legend, not the marble statues, but ordinary human beings. Some idealistic, some cautious, some frustrated, some hopeful. They are men of their time, shaped by their limitations and their surroundings. And yet, somehow, on this warm summer night, they manage to capture in words something both fragile and powerful. The belief that a people could define their own destiny. As you drift deeper into relaxation, imagine the sound of a quill scratching lightly against parchment. Soft strokes, slow pauses, a breath taken, a sentence reworked. Thomas Jefferson gently adjusts his sleeves as he thinks through another phrase. Benjamin Franklin leans back in his chair, watching quietly. John Adams taps the table with his thumb, turning ideas over in his mind. They do not fully know what they are creating, but they sense that something is shifting. Something is beginning. And now, 2.5 centuries later, the nation looks back at their work with a mixture of pride, admiration, criticism, and wonder. Anniversaries work like that. They bring both memory and reconsideration. They invite a country to ask gentle but important questions. Who have we become? What dreams did we fulfill? Which promises still whisper softly, waiting to be realized? Let your breath ease into a slow rhythm as you picture the United States at 250. A land with more voices, more stories, more perspectives, more memories than the founders ever imagined. A nation shaped by immigration, innovation, struggle, celebration, conflict, creativity, reinvention, and hope. A nation that holds multitudes, big cities glowing with neon, small towns resting under gentle skies, long highways stretching across quiet plains, deserts shimmering under the sun, mountains rising into cool mist, and coastlines whispering with waves. Every part of this landscape has its own story, and together they form the ever-changing identity of a vast, restless, curious country. Now imagine yourself walking slowly through modern America, but in a dreamlike, softened way. The crowds are quiet. The buildings faded slightly by the glow of twilight. Everything feels calm and still. You pass murals that celebrate cultural heroes, memorials that honor the past, museums that tell stories of triumph and sorrow. You see school children on field trips, tracing their fingers over maps of the 13 colonies, touching replicas of quills and ink, imagining what it felt like to live in a time when the idea of America was new, uncertain, and fragile. In your slow wander, you come across a display case containing a faded copy of the Declaration of Independence. Not the original, but an aged reproduction. The parchment looks delicate, its edges wrinkled with time. The ink appears almost brown, like dried leaves. And as you lean closer, certain words rise gently into focus. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Soft, familiar, almost whispered. These words have shifted in meaning over time. They have been interpreted, debated, clung to, and fought over. But they remain like a soft pulse beneath the surface of the nation's identity. Not a perfect pulse, not always steady, but persistent. As the country approaches 250 years, these words seem to quiet the noise, inviting reflection rather than celebration alone. They remind the nation that identity is not fixed. It evolves like a story passed from generation to generation. It grows as new voices add new chapters. It deepens as the country acknowledges both its shining moments and its painful ones. Let your body sink comfortably into stillness as we drift further into this gentle meditation on national memory. Imagine the sound of waves lapping softly against the shores of the 13 colonies. The Atlantic Ocean glows under moonlight, silver and calm. Ships move slowly, gently rocking. Some carry goods, some carry letters. Some carry frightened families seeking a fresh start. Others carry those forced against their will, torn from their homes across the world. The early identity of America was complex, layered, beautiful, painful, and full of contradictions. And yet, even in its earliest form, the land carried a deep desire for freedom, though not all were allowed to share in it. Over centuries, that contradiction has become part of the national memory, not to erase the founding ideals, but to understand them more fully, to expand them, to continue shaping them into something more inclusive and more reflective of the nation's true diversity. As you drift even deeper into relaxation, imagine the United States at different moments in time, passing by like soft, glowing lanterns. One lantern shines on the Revolutionary War, farmers with muskets, cold nights of uncertainty, whispers of hope by campfires. Another lantern shines on westward expansion, wagon wheels creaking slowly, sprawling plains stretching into the horizon, dreams mingling with hardship. Another lantern glows over the Civil War, a nation divided, ideals tested, the idea of equality struggling to take root. Another lantern illuminates Ellis Island, crowds arriving with trembling hope, memes recorded in heavy books, the blending of cultures beginning anew. Another flickers over the world wars, factories humming, letters sent overseas, a sense of unity mixed with fear. Another glows over the civil rights movement, marching feet, handwritten signs, songs of determination rising in warm summer air. Each lantern is a memory, a moment of change, a piece of a nation continually searching for its identity. Now, imagine these lanterns lifting gently into the twilight sky, floating upward like quiet fireflies. Each carries a piece of American history, drifting toward the milestone of 250 years. As they rise, they create a soft constellation, a glowing map of the nation's journey. You watch them drift higher and higher, and as they move, they begin to connect, like threads weaving a story. The story is not perfect. It is uneven at times, full of triumphs and failures, brilliance and mistakes. But it is alive. It is still being written. And now, as the 250th anniversary approaches, the nation feels that quiet truth. Identity is not a fixed point from the past. It is a living conversation between then and now. Let your breathing grow slower as we drift back to the city of Philadelphia, the symbolic heart of the beginning. Imagine standing in front of Independence Hall, not during the loud celebrations that will come, but at night. The square is empty, the bricks glow under the moon, the windows reflect soft light. You approach the building slowly, feeling the weight of centuries gently surrounding you. The hall does not feel grand or intimidating now. It feels calm, almost humble. A place where human beings once sat together, trying to articulate a new idea, a fragile idea, an idea they hoped would endure. You stand before the wooden door, feeling the coolness of the air. You imagine the debates inside, the disagreements, the hesitations, the compromises. You imagine the footsteps echoing across wooden floors. You imagine the quill poised above parchment. You imagine the moment when the final signatures were placed, sealing the beginning of something new. The nation was young, unsure, imperfect, but determined. And now, 250 years later, you feel that same determination echoing softly through time. A desire to continue shaping the meaning of freedom, to reflect on both the beauty and the complexity of the country's past, to understand that identity grows with each generation. Allow your mind to soften as we move into the last part of this gentle journey. Picture yourself floating once more above the landscape, above cities, mountains, farmland, and rivers. The nation lies below you like a sleeping giant, peaceful, breathing slowly, preparing for a moment of reflection. The anniversary is not simply a celebration of the past. It is a quiet invitation to look inward. What does it mean to be a nation? What does it mean to belong to a shared history? What dreams remain unfinished? What hopes continue to rise? As you drift further, imagine the country 250 years in the future, a distant possibility, a shimmering horizon. What will future generations remember about this moment? What choices will they reflect on? What stories will they tell? History is not a fixed monument. It is a river, flowing endlessly, carrying memories, shaping identities, connecting past and present. And tonight, you have floated gently along its surface, feeling its calm current beneath you. Let these last words settle softly. America at 250 is not just an anniversary. It is a mirror held gently to the past, a moment to honor ideals, to acknowledge contradictions, to reflect on the journey, and to dream of a better, more unified future. Now, allow the story to fade like the final glow of twilight. Let the quiet of history settle into you like warm, soft blankets, and drift into peaceful rest. Your breath is slow, your thoughts are gentle. The night grows calm around you. The story continues, but for now, you may sleep.